Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you know, we're working on a 2009 Mini Cooper S blown engine. In our last video, we basically pulled the head off and found that a valve had broken off and was impaled. Head's junk, really not savable. Did a bunch of research and I was able to find a refurbished head for about $700 plus shipping. So I paid about $800 for it. It's on its way. I should have it next week. But in the meantime, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and pull this piston out of the cylinder, out of the block, because I also ordered a new piston from Detroit Tuned, and that should be on its way as well. And so that way the engine will be fully ready to go as soon as I start getting these parts. I also ordered a couple of new connecting rod bolts as well, because I believe these are stretch to yield bolts and they need to be torqued down to specific specifications. And once you break them free, just like with a lot of the bolts on this motor, you've got to put new ones in, which is kind of silly. Maybe that's a German thing, maybe that's a Mini thing, I don't know. But in any case, ARP bolts were way more expensive, so I'm erring on the side. Will not have to rebuild the motor again because this is a flip car, and I'm trying to keep my costs down as much as I can. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. First thing I need to do is I need to flip this block over and untorque the connecting rod for the cylinder and just slide it out. Really, is all it is to it. And then I think the other thing I need to figure out is what size head gasket. Now, I went ahead and I already ordered a standard head gasket for this motor. You can see I got it today, actually. I just ordered it like a day or two ago. So Parts Geek, very fast, very efficient, highly recommend. I've been pretty happy so far with the purchases I've made there. Not sponsored, but if they want to sponsor this video, please contact me. In any case, went ahead and ordered this L-ring. It's the 0.9 millimeter gasket, so it's the standard size. When the new head gets here next week, I need to figure out how much material was actually removed during the resurface, because I may end up returning this one and getting the 1.2 millimeter thick head gasket. If you guys have any recommendations on that, please let me know. What I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on comparing the thickness of the old head that has not been machined to the thickness of the new head. And if it's, you know, 0.3 or more difference in height here on this head, then I'll probably have to get the thicker head gasket. If it's just been slightly machined and just sort of smoothed out, then I can probably just get away with using the standard head gasket. So anyways, if you guys have any thoughts on that, please comment below. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started on this. So first thing I want to do is flip this block over. I need, looks like, torque sockets here. Oh, that worked. Great. Three. I hope these aren't torque to yield bolts, honestly. It's so frustrating. You know what I just realized? I'm going to have to also take off the chain. cover off without breaking it. That's good. Dang, I think I gotta undo that. Can I get this out of here without? You know what I can do? I'm gonna actually remove the screen without taking this pump all out because I don't want to undo this bolt here. Be very careful because I do not want to drop these bolts or anything down into the engine to try to push out. Okay. So there's the screen. This goes this way. I think that's pretty easy. All right, so now I have access. I just want to, yeah, this cylinder here. So I can go ahead and pop off the lower rod. Oh my, there we go, that's better. I'm gonna go ahead and break it free with my ratchet. Not too bad. And I'm just going to use my hand here because I do not want to do anything that jeopardizes putting something down in the engine. Okay. Got both bolts. Let's just do that there for a second. Take this rod journal off. Get that out of there. There we go. Pop it off with the pliers. Not sure how loose the bearings are going to be in here, so you have to be careful not to let the bearings fall down. Okay, there's the bearings. The top bearing looks pretty good. No damage or anything to it, so that's good. A little bit of weird wear, like wear marks on that top end of it. The crank journal itself actually looks pretty good. No damage or anything on it, so I'm just going to pop this back in here. This is the rod cap. It's okay. Just pushing the bearing back in there. Not sure if it goes a certain way or not. I don't think so. I believe my new piston comes with new bearings, so I'm not totally worried about the bearings in this one. I'm going to go ahead and push the cylinder or the piston down and just push it out. I'm filming.
You saw a kid run by.
Yeah.
Who was that?
What?
Who was that?
I think it was Ben.
Oh.
I'm filming right now, though.
Oh.
Alright, so I've got this piston out. The rod out. Some metal. I'm actually really glad that I'm taking this out because there is metal and debris in the rings, actually. Well, actually, it's a little bit of, it's like carbon, but a little bit of debris. Anyways, if that stuff is riding up and down on the cylinder, it's not good for it. So, okay, so here we have it. We've got the piston out. I mean, other than the damage from smacking into the cylinder head and the valve, and a little bit of grime along the side of the rings, it's not in terrible shape. The bearing is in pretty good shape, and the rod is not broken or cracked or anything. So the cylinder wall actually looks pretty good. But other than that, yeah, just a couple little witness marks right here on the very tippy top of the bore. This one also has it too, and all of these really have it, because the valves are coming down and smacking each of these pistons right on the edge, you know. So man, it is really important to keep your engine in time. Otherwise, you end up with this kind of problem. So, all right. So next step, I got to get new piston, pop it in, and torque it down to specs. Put the head on. I need to figure out the height of that head versus the new one. Make sure there's not a 0.3 millimeter gap. We go from there. Cool. All right, thank you for watching today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and there'll be more videos in this series. I am basically going to be rebuilding this entire motor. I'm not going to do a concourse, pristine, you know, paint job or anything like that. I'm just going to get it functional. I'm going to get this engine completely cleaned and resealed, regasketed, replace anything that's bad. Like I've got some of these lines that look worse for wear. I'm debating whether I replace those things. The friction pulley looks like it's had better days. I might end up replacing this because the boot here is all damaged, and it still works, I think, but yeah. But otherwise, I've got most of the parts all cleaned up and ready to go. Got a few little touch-ups here and there to make. I've got a new clutch that's going in. This clutch is not terrible, but I figure, you know, it's getting close enough to these rivets where, you know, I don't want to have to hassle with doing it again in the future if I decide to keep the car. And if I flip the car, I will feel much better about selling a car to somebody who has a new clutch disc and pressure plate. The flywheel, which is right there, is in good shape. It's not damaged or anything, so I'm not going to bother replacing that. Even the surface on it is pretty good, so I might take a closer look at it. May get it resurfaced. I don't know. From what I recall, the seller who sold me the car told me that the clutch had been done like 10 or 15,000 miles ago. So I don't think it's in terrible shape to begin with. Anyways, yeah, so see you next time on Ultimate Garage. Thanks.